What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band Nekromantheon, entitled Visions of Trismegistos. This is released on Hells Headbangers Records, indie recordings. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Kolbotn, Norway, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very fast, blackened, mythological style of thrash metal. Yeah. My first introduction to this band was their 2012 second full-length entitled Rise Vulcan Spectre. That album is a gold standard and blueprint into what black thrash metal should be and what it should sound like. That album is incredibly fast, incredibly aggressive, very much an in-your-face sort of record. And of course that would lead me on to their 2010 debut with Divinity of Death. I mean, Nekromantheon are really a one-of-a-kind band, and with their first two full-lengths, they showcase a very, very distinctive sort of style of thrash metal, adding the black metal elements and touches, the great vocal work, the fast drumming, the fiery soloing, just a really, really killer band. And of course, Norway has its fair share of really killer thrash and heavy metal influenced sort of bands. I mean, stuff that come to mind would probably be Aura Noir, Condor, Deathhammer, just to name a few. And not to mention the other band that some of these guys in Nekromantheon play in with Obliteration. They're more on the death metal sort of side of things, but that's still a great band either which way you look at it. But moving back to Nekromantheon, it's been quite a long time since we had last heard something from them. Of course, Rise Vulcan Spectre was an absolutely phenomenal album, one of the best of 2012 for sure. And when word got out that they were finally coming back with a brand new full length, I was very much excited to hear what they were going to do. I mean, I liked the direction that they were going in with some of the songs that they released. I love the very, very beautiful artwork that they debuted for the new album, and I was ready for it. I was ready to hear some new Nekromantheon, and now here we are with the long-anticipated third full-length from Nekromantheon entitled Visions of Trismegistos. It's 8 tracks, and it clocks in at around 32 minutes in length, and pretty much, upon listening to this album, this is Nekromantheon business as usual. It's a short, sweet, to-the-point record, but something feels completely new and different about it. It's as if this band has grown over the last several years since we had last heard a full length from them. And we finally get to see Nekromantheon take a big, bold leap and risk with their style and sound, but they still make it in their own sort of way, and it works out so tremendously. I mean, from the minute you hear the opening moments of the Visions of Trismegistos, from to later songs like Faustian Rites and Neptune Descent, you can already tell that this is one of the best things I've heard this band do to date, and it is just pure non-stop action and aggression all the way through. I mean, musically, this is such a tour de force. There are so many great riffs and solos to be heard throughout this entire album. Like I mentioned with the opening track of the Vision of Trismegistos to Faustian Rites, to the second half of this album with songs like Scorched Dawn and Thanatos. Just some seriously killer riffs to be heard throughout this album. Very much thrash metal influence, a little bit of that black metal essence going in there too. The solos that appear on here are very much well played and well executed. Everything feels right and is played right, and it sounds wonderful. This album has a very, very strong mix and production quality to it. It definitely feels natural. It doesn't feel overly polished or too overly clean. It feels just right. The bass work on here is very good, very powerful, very much in this album's sound and mix. It goes along great with the guitar riffs that you hear throughout this album. I think it's really awesome. The drumming on here is very relentless. A lot of great rototom work, a lot of great thrash beats, a lot of great energy going throughout this album, especially for some of the lengthier songs that appear on here, like Neptune Descent and Scorched Death. I mean, everything flies by at such a quick pace, but this drummer really never lets up. It's very relentless, it's very in your face, and I love the style and the direction that this drummer goes here. It's really, really awesome. And when it comes to the vocals, of course, the vocals are delivered with such gusto and such force and such power. You definitely understand and can agree with and vibe with everything that the vocalist is saying and doing. It's very, very well executed, very well worded, very well delivered, and I think this guy just commands your attention. He commands you to listen to every single thing that he says throughout the entire album, and it's really, really awesome. So overall, I definitely think that this is one of the best things Nekromantheon has done yet. This has been well worth the 7-8+ year wait for a brand new album from them. And if you are a fan of Divinity of Death or Rise Vulcan Spectre, I think you're really going to enjoy Vision of Trismegistos a hell of a lot, and definitely consider it a classic in its own right. So if I had to think of any personal favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say the Visions of Trismegistos, Faustian Rites, Neptune Descent, and Scorched Death. Really, really good stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Hells Headbangers Bandcamp page where you can listen to this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can stream it by digitally and is available physically as a CD and 12-inch vinyl. I believe Hells Headbangers is handling physical copies in the United States, and Indie Recordings is doing stuff internationally. So find a way to get a hold of that album through those international means. So, again, the album is Visions of Trismegistos by Nekromantheon. This is released on Hells Headbangers Records, Indie Recordings. Definitely check this one out. And for a score, I'm going to give this a very strong 9 out of 10. Very, very awesome return to form for this band. Something completely different, but I appreciate what this band is going for here with this new sort of sound. So, if you happen to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it, how you feel about it, and how you think it compares to previous Nekromantheon releases. Or any of you guys into Nekromantheon, definitely let me know. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks all for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. Until the next time, Armino out.